percent higher almost on the Nifty.
Absolutely. So it sort of picked up pace in the last couple of minutes and lots of stocks doing well. I want to focus on one stock, Lata. Laurus Labs has received an approval from the USFDA under the President's emergency plan for AIDS relief for 2 AIDS drugs. So I know all of us are talking about COVID drugs, but Laurus Labs has received an approval for AIDS drugs. So to find out about the market size, the potential for these 2 drugs, Satyanarayan Chava, the founder and CEO of Laurus Labs, joins in to talk about that. Mr. Chava, thanks so much for joining in. I also want to talk a little more about, the earnings, etc. But first, on these 2 drugs that you've gotten approval for, can you tell us what exactly is the potential, what is the market size, and what would the eventual impact be on the company's earnings?
In the first line ARV therapy, there are 4 drugs, TLE 600, TLE 400, and TLD, that is dolutegravir based, and TEE. We have approvals for 3 of the 4 drugs under the PEPFAR. These 3 drugs constitutes about 80% of the first line therapy. And the last 2 drugs, what we got approval from USFDA in the last few days, about $200 million worth of drugs are purchased by the multilateral agencies. And out of these 2, TLE 600, there are multiple players. And for TLE 400, there are only few players where we hope we get some reasonable market share. Probably we'll get in-country approvals in the coming quarter. So our ARV sales into LMIC segment will pick up from the next quarter onwards.
Okay, and Mr. Satyanarayana, are you also looking at an improvement in margins, or do you think API prices have risen?
See, as you might have observed in the last few quarters, we were able to increase our gross margin and EBITDA margins. And we expect that growth trajectory will continue in the coming quarters as well.
Okay, I wanted to, check with you on these reports that you guys are in talks with Gilead for a tie-up for remdesivir. How true is that report? I mean, you had tied up with Gilead for hepatitis C drugs way back in 2015 as well. But what can the street expect from the Gilead tie-up this time around?
We requested them to grant license, and it is up to Gilead to grant. Yeah.
Okay. Any other COVID-related drugs that the company is manufacturing at the moment, and what kind of potential do you see there?
If you look at COVID treatment and prophylactic, we believe the prophylactic will have a huge demand than the treatment. And we have hydroxychloroquine supplying to various countries. And we also developing favipiravir. We also under development of remdesivir. These 2 are for treatment. These 2 are not for prophylactic. So the only prophylactic where we see a lot of prospects if the drug proved effective is the hydroxychloroquine, and we have increased our capacity for that in the recent times.
Okay. Mr. Satyanarayana, are you looking at any other kind? I mean, we've spoken a lot about COVID, but are you looking at any other kind of capex?
Our capex mainly into expanding our API capacity as well as formulation capacity. We are not doing any specific capex related to COVID drugs. Our existing capacity is large enough to see the opportunity going through. Yeah. We were not investing anything for COVID related capex.
Okay. And would you also look at any inorganic opportunities then, buying some existing plants?
Not right now. We are not looking for that.
All right. All right, Mr. Satyanarayana, thank you very much indeed for joining us with the details of those 2 drugs as well as other COVID-related issues. Okay, we are getting back to markets in a hurry because they are compelling your attention. 1.2% higher, almost 1.1 on the Nifty at this point in time. And it is, almost within kissing distance of 9,000, Nimesh. Sorry, Anuj.
Yeah, Lata, you know what? That's what I stuck my neck out this morning about the risk-reward trade, and that's how it's played out. I'm not surprised that it's being led by a lot of the strong financials as well. And now the Nifty is up 100 points. Even after the market opened, if you would have bought, you would have made a lot of money. And right now, my eye is firmly on Bajaj Finance because it's about to break the morning high. I mean, if it does that after the opening, and if the kind of shorts that entered the system, I think this could really propel the market. Today, the market sentiment has been improved, and that's how the market rewards you for doing the non-obvious things. Today, perhaps, was the day purely from the risk-reward point of view to go for this trade. Mitesh is back with us. Mitesh, good morning. So it's looking quite strong right now on the index. What would be your call, and what would be your stock-specific bets?
Right, Anuj. I think, as I said, we might head towards the 90.75, 90.50 zone, and in case we fail there, then I think we'll be aggressive in shorting. But it still looks like that the downtrend, which was expanding, has again started to contract on the hourly chart. So I don't think we are going much down. We've just had a shift of range on the downside. For the timing, the calls that I have a buy on L&T Infotech. I think it's moved up a bit, but try to buy it close to about levels of 17.55.60 with a stop at 17.10 for targets of 18.40. And Tata Power is a buy with a stop at 33 for targets of 37.
Okay, so that's some buy calls. IT is doing, seeing some profit taking today. Mitesh, thanks a lot for those calls. L&T is up 3% now, by the way. Cipla, ITC, Bajaj Finance. These are the stocks doing well. Prakash, good morning to you. What would be your calls?
Good morning. Anuj, I think Nifty and Bank Nifty both should close up higher today. I'm long the market via Bank Nifty. So far looks good to me. I think I like two stocks here. One is Grasim. Possibly we'll see an up move here. Target around 535, 540 zones not rolled out. Stop below 510. I also like ITC. I had liked ITC yesterday as well. I think it's heading to levels beyond 180 zones. Stop below 172 should be okay.
All right, gentlemen, thanks a lot for taking us through those market opening. Well, honestly, today is the kind of day when you should have made a lot of money in the market. Just the pure risk reward was in your favor, and a lot of stocks now doing well. Now let's see if this sustains, because in the past 90.50 has been the resistance mark for the Nifty. We are now at 8994. So as we move towards 90.50, Sonia, there will be some resistance, but the first swing has played out as per the script, and it's been a really strong first hour of trade.
But Anuj, just on the rebound, you said Wednesdays are normally trend days. So chances of the markets at least holding on to these gains, if not building on it, are bright.
They are, but you know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is risk management. Okay. If you're a trader who got in, you'll have to keep trailing your stops because the market is very volatile.
No taking away from that. And we still have global markets today which are not showing any specific trend. So that might only add to the uncertainty and the volatility in the Indian markets. But yes, we will be there for a ball-by-ball commentary. And now we shift to another market which is also showing interesting and indecisive trends, the commodity markets. Good morning again, Manisha. What's on your mind?
Metals, Lata, because we still are trying to look at trends into this one, and quite confusing as we were discussing earlier as well. So LME, after yesterday's gains, has not seen any follow-through buying, but Shanghai markets definitely continue to gain up, because remember, 50% of metal consumption and production happens in China, and the Chinese recovery coming on board, we have seen the Shanghai metals continue to gain firm. Even in case of steel, where you have seen the production near record highs and demand not picking up, the prices in steel also have been on the higher side. So when you look at the non-ferrous metals, you have copper and lead prices trading near 1-month highs. The Indian markets seem to be taking cues from Shanghai right now. If you look at other metals like zinc and lead, they are trading near 2-month highs as well. So there has been value buying that we've seen in metals, and it seems to be holding steady. Follow-through buying is not coming, and the market's still reading into a lot of international data that's coming its way. So when you look at the other metals, it also is about the demand bottoming out, and that is what we are taking cues from. The vaccine news continues to move the markets either side, so that is what continues to weigh here. But But then when you look at the economic data from China, that has started to come in slightly positive. That has been supportive. Also, when you look at ex-China recovery, that is what the markets would want to watch out now for, because in US and UK, we haven't seen the demand pick up too much. Same is the case with Asia. So until that happens, we will see the prices continue to weigh here. Important events happening in China. You have annual political events kickstarting on Thursday. You have key parliament sessions on Friday in China, and expectations that we would be looking at further stimulus measures coming in, especially something for infrastructure, MSMEs and banking there. And that is where the metal markets seem to be taking cues from. Apart from that, it also is about the inventories. If you look at the inventories, we've seen 50% decline in inventories from mid-March until now, but that all of that is in Shanghai. So that is the reason you have seen the Shanghai metals gain up, not so much in case of the other metals or the LME metals for that matter. Strategies then, and we have buy calls in the precious metals and the base metals as well. We spoke to Globe Capital. They have a buy in case of gold, 47,300 could be there. And copper is a constant buy, 2-month highs already onto that one. 415 is what you could see on your charts today.
All right, Manisha, thanks a lot for that. So that's the commodity space, but let's take a quick commercial break. On the other side of the break, Nitin Chugh, the MD and CEO of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, will be with us to detail their numbers. The stock is holding up in the green at the moment. Asset quality has been stable. We'll come back.